My disdain for law enforcement is well documented, so the content of this video should not come as a surprise to anybody that's been following my page for any period of time. Just to give you some background to what I'm talking about here, my first interaction with the police officers were when I was a very small child. I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old when I had my first interaction. I think it was 6 years old when I had my first interaction with police officers. I grew up in an extraordinarily poor household. Right, we were on government assistance, ate a steady diet of government cheese. Everything was hand-me-downs. Our house was in constant disrepair. And so we didn't have new items unless it was given to us for Christmas. And that includes appliances. And our washing machine had broken. And my uncle, my mom's brother, had found a used washing machine for sale somewhere else in town. We were living in North Lake, Illinois. And they were going to go pick it up. When I say they, it was my mom, her brother, my uncle, and my dad. But my uncle had a pickup truck. Now, back in the day, we used to ride in the back of the pickup truck. And I was 6. My brother would have been 2. And I asked if we could go and we could ride in the back of the pickup truck. And my mom said, it was the early, mid-70s. My mom was like, no, you're going to stay home and you're going to watch your brother. Nowadays, leaving a 6-year-old in charge of a 2-year-old is unheard of. But in the 70s, it happened. And they left and they went to go get the washer. But on the way back, they got T-boned by a semi. And they found the washer like 2 blocks away. So had we been in the back of the truck, we would have been dead. Knock on the door, open it up. It's 2 North Lake police officers that were there to sit with us until my grandparents arrived to collect us. And I can remember hearing the police officers, I can remember it to this day, hearing the police officers in the kitchen talking to one another about how they got to fucking sit here with these white trash kids because some white trash people got into an accident. And all I could think of was, are they a threat? Right? I had to protect my brother. At 6, that's what was going through my head. That was my first interaction with the police. The second interaction I had with the police was when I was 7, and it's when my Uncle Butchie, another one of my mom's brothers, squared off in the front yard of my Aunt Rita's house in Addison with the Addison Police Department with a shotgun, and 3 Addison police cops shot my Uncle Butchie in my aunt's front yard. So before the age of 8, I have a couple of very negative interactions with the police. As I grow up, I have a couple of run-ins with the police because I'm not a very good kid. I don't follow the rules very well. And then I take off as an adult and I go traveling the country following the Grateful Dead. And I had numerous run-ins with the police that were negative, to say the least. I have experienced multiple times getting the shit kicked out of me by a cop, having my weed taken from them, and having a cop tell the other cop, yeah, he's not worth the fucking paperwork, just leave him in the fucking alley. I've had that happen to me. Then, since settling down and becoming an adult and getting a house and a career and having a family, I've had more negative run-ins with the police in instances in which I needed the police to do something to protect a member of my family. So my experience with the police is not very positive. And when you combine that with the history of bad behavior that the police in this country have, I don't have a very strong opinion or viewpoint of law enforcement as a whole. Excuse me. So, when I see the find out phase hit law enforcement, I really don't shed a fucking tear. From rollcall.com. Law enforcement groups criticize Trump pardons for Jan 6. The Capitol Police Union and other law enforcement groups sharply criticized President Donald Trump's pardons for his supporters who attacked the Capitol building on January 6, 2021, a move that cut against years of pro-police messaging from Republican members of Congress. The union wrote in a statement Tuesday that political leaders should not excuse violence against law enforcement officials in the line of duty. Officers defended the building and the members of Congress during the violent attack. Quote, the use of presidential power is not what Americans want to, this use of presidential power is not what Americans want to see, and it's not what law enforcement officers deserve, the Capitol Police Union said. Capitol Police Chief J. Thomas Manger in a CBS interview, said the president's actions sends the message that politics is more important than policing, and my officers go out there every day to enforce the law impartially. The D.C. Police Union, which represents officers, detectives, and sergeants in the Metropolitan Police Department, expressed dismay over the recent pardons granted to the people convicted of assaulting officers during the 2021 attack. Anyone who assaults a law enforcement officer should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law without exception, a statement from the union said. Here's where it gets really nice. The Fraternal Order of Police, which endorsed Trump in the 2024 presidential campaign, joined the International Association of Chiefs of Police in a joint statement that said crimes against law enforcement undermine the rule of law. Allowing those convicted of these crimes to be released early diminishes accountability and devalues the sacrifices made by courageous law enforcement officers and their families, the group said. And we're supposed to give a fuck what you think? You heard him say, I'm going to pardon the January 6th criminals. I'm going to pardon their hostages. They're being held in inhumane conditions. I'm going to pardon them. If elected, I'm going to pardon them. If you vote for me, I'm going to pardon them. You endorsed the motherfucker. You went and voted for the motherfucker. He then did what he said he was going to do, and you have the unmitigated sack to clutch your pearls? Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck your badge, fuck your union, fuck your organization, fuck your oath, fuck everything you stand for. He told you he was going to do this. He's the one that sent the motherfuckers to the Capitol building to begin with. And then told you he was going to pardon them for what they did. And you still endorsed them. You still voted for him. Nobody gives a fuck that you're now clutching your pearls because he did what he said he was going to do. Hopefully the next cop they assault is one of yours. Somebody you know. Somebody you love. And then you can look around and go, well, why isn't this person in prison? Because the guy who said he was going to release him from prison, if you voted for him, did so after you voted for him. Fuck you and everything you stand for.